Every morning, millions of people lace up their shoes, step outside, and walk. They hit their step count. Then they burn almost no fat at all. Here is the uncomfortable truth. You have been lied to about walking. Not on purpose, but lied to all the same. Fitness culture filed walking under light activity, something you do to clear your head or to make your watch buzz at 10,000 steps. But walking done the right way, at the right time, with a few small tweaks, stops being light activity entirely. It becomes one of the most powerful fat-burning tools you own. No gym, no equipment, no burpees at 5 in the morning. I am not asking you to take my word for this. I am living proof, and I will show you exactly what I do. I stay under 15% body fat all year. Visible abs in January. Visible abs in July. No brutal training program behind it. Just walking. Specifically, the 5 tweaks I am about to give you, with the science behind each one, so you understand why they work. And here is my promise. You will not need 90 days to feel this. Not 60 days. Not even 30 days. Follow this 5-step protocol, and within 14 days, you will notice real changes in the mirror, in your energy, in your blood sugar. One more thing before we begin. Stay with me until number 5. It is my favorite hack in the entire protocol. It costs you nothing. It takes 0 extra time. And I can almost promise you it is not what you are expecting. Let us get into step 1. Picture your metabolism as a furnace with 2 fuel lines. One line runs on sugar. The other line runs on stored body fat. Your body will always burn the sugar line first, every single time, because sugar is the easier and faster fuel to reach. So the entire game of fat loss comes down to one simple question. How do you get your body to switch fuel lines? Step 1 answers that question before you have even put your shoes on. First thing in the morning, before breakfast, before anything else, you take a shot of apple cider vinegar diluted in water. Then, separately, you have a cup of coffee. And I do mean separately. You are not pouring vinegar into your coffee. You have one, then the other. Then you walk. That is the sequence, and every piece of it is doing a specific job. Start with the vinegar. Apple cider vinegar activates a metabolic switch inside your body called AMP, your body's master energy regulator. When AMP is flipped on, 2 things happen at once. Fat storage gets turned down. Fat burning gets turned up. This is not wellness folklore. A study in Japanese adults found daily vinegar intake reduced body fat mass, waist size, and triglycerides. Same diet, same lifestyle. The vinegar group simply lost more fat than the group that did not take it. And here is the part most people get wrong. Apple cider vinegar does not break your fast. It actually supports your fast. It aids digestion, and its key compound, acetic acid, helps regulate blood sugar while feeding your gut health at the same time. Now the coffee. And listen carefully, because not all coffee is created equal. This detail matters far more than most people realize. The reason coffee earns its place here is a powerful antioxidant called chlorogenic acid. I will shorten it to CGA from now on. Coffee is loaded with CGA, especially a medium roast. And when CGA hits your system, it does 4 useful things at once. It signals your body to start pulling energy from fat. It suppresses appetite, so staying fasted feels effortless instead of miserable. It improves how your body handles glucose. And it ramps up fat burning inside your liver. Which brings me to something surprising. Your liver is a fat-burning organ. Most people have absolutely no idea that it plays this role in fat loss. One study found women drinking high CGA coffee lost roughly 3 times more fat than women drinking low CGA coffee. Same daily habit. Wildly different result, purely because of what was sitting inside the cup they were drinking every morning. So which coffee should you buy? Start by avoiding the cheap mass market beans sold at the big commercial coffee chains. Those beans tend to be grown conventionally and roasted for shelf life rather than health, which changes what ends up in your cup. They also test positive for mold toxins and heavy metals more often than most people would ever guess or expect, which means your morning cup can quietly work against you, driving up inflammation while you think you are doing something healthy. What you want instead is coffee that ticks 4 boxes: organic, medium roast, grown at high altitude, tested for contaminants. Medium roast matters because a dark roast burns off much of the chlorogenic acid you are drinking the coffee for in the first place. Find a brand that meets those 4 criteria, and you have turned an ordinary daily habit into a genuine fat loss tool. Now here is where all of it comes together. The walk itself. Because you have been fasting overnight, your sugar reserves are already running low before you have even opened the front door. Those reserves are called glycogen. And I want you to picture your glycogen stores as the cash inside your wallet. Your wallet only holds so much. That cash is the sugar stored in your muscle and liver cells, and it is limited. That cash is your body's spending money. And your body spends it first, every single time, before touching anything else. But behind the wallet, you have a vault, a very big one. And that vault is your stored body fat, the love handles, the belly, the stubborn fat around your neck and back that never seems to move no matter what you try. Here is the problem. Your body will not open that vault as long as there is still cash sitting in the wallet. The fasted morning walk empties the wallet. And when the wallet finally runs empty, something remarkable happens inside you. Your body panics for a moment and starts looking around. It thinks, "We are out of spending money. What now?" And then it remembers the vault sitting there, full and untouched. So it starts breaking into stored fat, releasing fatty acids into your bloodstream, and shipping them straight to your liver. Your liver converts those fatty acids into ketones. And ketones are extraordinary fuel for your body and your brain. They are anti-inflammatory, they lift your mood, they clear brain fog, and they are made directly from the fat you want gone. Every ketone your body produces is body fat leaving the building. That is the moment you have been walking toward. So look at the stack you have built before 8 in the morning, without doing anything difficult or complicated at all. Vinegar lowering blood sugar and flipping the amp switch. Coffee pushing fatty acids into your mitochondria and killing your appetite. And a fasted walk draining the last of the cash from the wallet. That is your peak fat burning zone. And you reached it by drinking 2 things and walking out of your own front door. That is the whole cost. Here is my exact personal protocol, the one that keeps me lean all year, so you can copy it directly. I wake up and take 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar diluted in a glass of water. I add a pinch of salt, and I drink it through a straw to protect the enamel on my teeth. Then comes my coffee. I brew it in a French press and sometimes add a splash of mixed oil, but that is optional. Then straight out of the door for a 30 to 45-minute walk. No breakfast, no snacks, just the walk. Even 10 minutes gives you benefits, so never skip it because you are short on time. But 30 minutes is where it compounds. And if you are sitting there thinking you cannot stand the taste of apple cider vinegar, Honestly, I am with you. It is rough. So here is your escape hatch. Use a high-quality apple cider vinegar capsule instead of the liquid. Skip the gummies, though. Most of them are candy wearing a health costume, packed with sugar that defeats the entire purpose. Look for a clean capsule form of the vinegar complex. Take the equivalent of 2 tablespoons, and you get the benefits without the taste. That is step 1 complete. Step 2 is where this gets interesting, because where you walk can double what the walk does. This next one sounds almost too simple, so let me reframe it for you before you dismiss it as obvious advice. This is not just a walk outdoors. This is circadian synchronization therapy for fat loss, and that difference matters enormously. Your body runs on an internal clock. And that clock does not just control when you feel sleepy at night. It controls when you store fat and when you burn it. Morning sunlight is how you set that clock correctly. And if you have a dog like I do, congratulations, you already have a furry accountability partner who will drag you outside. Here is what is happening biologically. Morning sunlight hitting your eyes and skin triggers a healthy, well-timed cortisol spike. I know cortisol has a terrible reputation as the stress hormone, but with cortisol, timing is genuinely everything. Cortisol in the morning is your body's natural wake up and burn fat signal. It is supposed to rise then. It is cortisol at the wrong time, late at night, that stores fat. Get it early, and it works for you. And the research here genuinely surprised me the first time I read it because of how strong the effect was. A study from Northwestern University found people who got most of their light before noon had significantly lower body mass index. And here is the part that stopped me. That result held true independently of their diet and their activity levels. Read that again. 2 people eating the same food, moving the same amount. The one seeing morning sun carried less fat. Light exposure alone moved the needle. Nothing else changed. That is how powerful the timing of your walk really is. There is a second mechanism working underneath this one, and it involves a molecule you have probably never thought about. When sunlight touches your skin, it triggers the release of nitric oxide from your skin and from your blood vessels. Nitric oxide causes vasodilation. That is the opening and relaxing of your blood vessels so blood flows more freely. That improves circulation, reduces inflammation, and supports the very mitochondria responsible for burning the fat you are trying to lose. Think of it as widening every highway in your body so oxygen, nutrients, and blood reach the tissues that need repair. And if you have high blood pressure, pay close attention here because this might be the easiest lever you will ever pull. A high sugar diet depletes nitric oxide, which causes the opposite effect. Vasoconstriction, narrow, tight, tense blood vessels throughout your body. Narrow vessels force your heart to pump harder against resistance, and that extra pressure is exactly what shows up on your cuff. Morning sunlight walks reverse that equation. Do this consistently, and do not be surprised when your readings start moving downward. There is a third payoff from this hack, and it does not arrive until roughly 15 hours later that same night. Morning sunlight anchors your circadian rhythm, which tells your body to release melatonin at the correct time in the evening. Better melatonin timing means deeper delta sleep, and delta sleep is where the serious fat burning and cellular repair happen. One well-known sleep researcher describes morning sun as nature's caffeine, but with far better metabolic benefits attached to it. So your 7 in the morning walk is quietly improving your 11 at night sleep, which quietly burns fat while you are unconscious. That is the kind of compounding I want working in your life, where one habit pays you 3 separate times. Want to stack one more layer on top of this? If you can, take part of that walk barefoot. Walk on grass or on sand. It is called grounding or earthing, and the effects are more measurable than people assume. It is like taking a handful of antioxidants through the soles of your feet, calming inflammation throughout your whole body. It has been shown to support heart rate variability, calm the nervous system, and support mitochondrial output over time. Is it slightly odd standing barefoot in your garden at 7 in the morning? Absolutely, do it anyway. So now you have the fasted metabolic stack from step 1 and the light timing multiplier from step 2. Step 3 is where we add fire. One tweak turns a nice walk into something your body treats like a workout. Steady walking is great. I will never talk you out of a calm, flat, steady walk on any day of the week. But if you add short bursts of intensity, you unlock something most people have never heard of. Mitochondrial biogenesis. That is the scientific term for your body literally building brand new fat-burning engines inside your cells. Quick refresher. Your mitochondria are the power plants inside every cell, and they are the machinery that actually burns your fat. Here is the equation that should excite you. More mitochondria means more energy produced, which means a higher basal metabolic rate. Basal metabolic rate is simply what your body burns while doing absolutely nothing at all. Sitting, sleeping, watching television. So the intensity you add this morning means you burn more fat this afternoon, sitting at your desk, answering emails. You are not just burning calories during the walk. You are upgrading the engine that burns them for the rest of the day. Research in the Journal of Applied Physiology backs this up in a way that genuinely changed how I walk. Adding short bursts of intensity, 3 rounds of 30-second sprints with 2 minutes of easy recovery between them produced better results. It improved mitochondrial density and insulin sensitivity more than steady-state cardio did. 3 sprints. 90 seconds of hard effort total. That beat the long, slow grind, which should be enormously encouraging if you are short on time every single morning. Walking uphill or adding power walk intervals also raises your VO2 max. And if you care about longevity, circle this one. VO2 max is one of the strongest predictors of a long life that we currently know how to measure. In plain English, it is the amount of oxygen your body can actually use at high levels of intensity. Raise it and you are not just fitter. You are training your body to reach into fat stores even at rest. What you are really capturing here is the benefit of high-intensity interval training without the punishment that usually comes with it. That hormetic effect, the good stress that forces your body to adapt and grow stronger without pounding your joints. No jumping, no burpees, no impact. Your knees will thank you when you are 50 and still walking every morning. And there is a hormonal jackpot too. Sprint-style walking spikes human growth hormone, which burns fat and builds muscle simultaneously. It also releases catecholamines like adrenaline, and adrenaline specifically mobilizes stored belly fat rather than fat from elsewhere. That effect is strongest on an empty stomach, which, if you have followed along, is exactly where you already are. Here is the exact method I use to stay lean all year. I call it the 3-1 method. 3 minutes of brisk walking. then 1 minute of sprint walking, or charging up a hill if you have one nearby. Then straight back into 3 minutes of brisk walking. Repeat that cycle for 30 to 45 minutes total. Do it right after your apple cider vinegar and your coffee. No timer app needed. You can count it in your head. And before we move on, one bonus benefit that has nothing to do with fat and everything to do with your day. These intensity bursts raise something in your brain called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. I simply call it brain fertilizer. It is miracle growth for your neurons. The more BDNF you produce, the more creative and mentally resilient you become. So this walk is not just carving away belly fat. It is sharpening the brain you use in every meeting. Fat loss is the headline. A better brain is the fine print, and you get both from the same 40 minutes. Now, the first 3 hacks all live in your morning. Hack 4 happens at the opposite end of your day. It might be the easiest habit on this entire list. It takes 10 minutes, and it attacks fat while you sleep. Let me paint a familiar picture first. You finish dinner. You migrate to the couch. You sink in with your phone. And your body spends the next 3 hours doing exactly one thing with that meal, storing it as fat. Here is what is happening inside you. After you eat, especially a carb-heavy or late dinner, your blood sugar rises. Your body releases insulin to deal with it. And insulin, above everything else, is a storage hormone. When insulin is spiking at 9 at night while you sit motionless, it shuttles that dinner straight into your fat cells. Worse, it keeps your body locked in storage mode deep into the night. You are literally storing fat while you sleep. Now here is the 10-minute fix that changes all of it, and it is almost embarrassingly simple. A study published in Diabetes Care found 10 to 15 minutes of walking after a meal lowered blood sugar by up to 30%. 30% from a slow stroll around the block. No sweat, no gym clothes, no effort worth complaining about. Lower blood sugar means smaller insulin spikes. And smaller insulin spikes mean your body spends the night burning fat instead of banking it. I do this virtually every single day. The moment dinner is finished, I am out of the door with my dog. We do an easy loop around the neighborhood. It does not feel like exercise. Honestly, it feels like the best part of the evening. And the whole time, 3 separate things are quietly happening under the hood, each one helping you in a different way. First, the blood sugar effect. Your working muscles pull glucose straight out of your bloodstream without needing an insulin spike at all. Second, walking activates your lymphatic system, which is your body's drainage network for clearing out metabolic waste products. Here is what most people never learn. Unlike your blood, your lymph has no pump. It only moves when you move. That gentle post-dinner motion flushes waste and dramatically reduces bloating, which you will notice most after a heavy or late meal. Third, and this is my favorite part, light walking stimulates your vagus nerve, the master switch of your nervous system. It shifts you out of fight or flight and into parasympathetic mode. Rest, digest, and detoxify exactly when you need it. You are literally walking yourself into the state your body needs for deep delta sleep, where most of your repair happens. So the rule here is simple enough to remember forever. Fork down, shoes on. 10 to 15 minutes. That is the entire hack. Which brings us finally to number 5. The one I told you to stay for at the very beginning. I need you to trust me through the setup here, because this changes everything about how the other 4 work. On every walk you take, morning or evening, I want you to bring one supplement with you. I call it vitamin G. The research behind vitamin G is honestly staggering, and once you see it, you will not want to walk without it. Vitamin G helps you burn fat at the cellular level. It lowers inflammation throughout your entire body over time. The moment you take it, it measurably lowers cortisol. And remember, cortisol at the wrong time is your fat storage hormone. It improves mood. It improves energy. It supports mitochondrial health, which is the fat-burning machinery we discussed earlier. Research from UC Davis shows that people who take vitamin G regularly have healthier blood pressure and healthier blood sugar levels. And it gets bigger than that. A large study published in JAMA followed 49,275 nurses. The nurses taking vitamin G had a 9% reduction in death from all causes compared to those who did not. They also had a 15% reduction in death from cardiovascular disease. Vitamin G literally extended how long they lived. On top of that, a study in psychoneuroendocrinology found participants taking vitamin G showed lower morning cortisol and healthier mitochondrial function. By now, some of you have already opened a new tab. You are searching for vitamin G right this second. You are scrolling for the best brand, comparing prices, hunting for a discount code before I even finish this sentence. Close the tab. You cannot buy it. It is not sold anywhere at any price in any shop on earth. Vitamin G is gratitude. Every study I just quoted is real. They are all studies on the practice and the felt experience of gratitude. The nurses' study, the cortisol findings, the blood pressure and blood sugar improvements. All of it measured grateful people. Gratitude is not a soft, feel-good garnish sitting on top of your health routine. It is a biochemical intervention. It is measurable. It is completely free. And you can take it on every single walk for the rest of your life. Here is how I dose it. While I walk, I hunt for things to be grateful for, deliberately, like a game. The legs carrying me, the sun on my face, the air in my lungs, the people waiting for me at home. And I repeat affirmations, sometimes out loud, sometimes silently in my head, for the entire length of the walk. I am so happy and grateful for my strong, healing, healthy body exactly as it is right now today. I am so happy and grateful that I am burning fat and healing a little more with every single step. I am so happy and grateful that health has been placed into every single cell of my body. You get the idea. Make them your own. The specific words matter far less than the feeling underneath them. Why does this matter so much? Because what you appreciates, what you think about, you eventually bring about. And on a pure physiology level, a walk taken in gratitude is a walk taken with genuinely lower cortisol, a calmer nervous system, mitochondria working with you instead of against you. Same steps, completely different internal chemistry. That is the protocol. 5 hacks. Now let me answer the questions I know are already forming in your mind. How many steps should you aim for daily if you want to lose 20 pounds or more? Honestly, the protocol matters more than the number. Follow these 5 steps and the fat loss follows on its own. You can realistically drop those 20 pounds over the next couple of months without counting anything at all. But if you want a target to chase, aim for at least 10,000 steps a day, most days. Between the morning walk and the after dinner walk, you will hit that number almost by accident. Can you drink the apple cider vinegar and the coffee together, or do they need to stay separate? You can combine them if you want. There is no metabolic rule against it. Nothing bad happens biologically. I personally think it sounds disgusting. Vinegar coffee is not a flavor experience I am volunteering for anytime soon. But if your taste buds can survive it, go for it. That one is entirely your call, my friend. Does walking after every meal help, or is it only worth doing after dinner in the evening? Every meal. If your schedule allows short walks after breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you multiply the blood sugar benefits. I know that is a big ask for busy people with jobs, children, and commutes filling their days, which is why dinner is the non-negotiable one. It is the meal most likely to be stored as fat overnight. Will you still see results if you do not walk fasted in the morning? Absolutely. A walk is never wasted. Every single walk you take is doing something good for your body. But the fasted version opens the vault. You burn noticeably more fat with an empty wallet, so to speak. If fasted walking is not possible for you, walk anyway. If it is possible, then walk fasted. Do you have to be outdoors, or does a treadmill indoors count for this protocol? The treadmill still works. You get the movement, the intervals, and the post-meal blood sugar benefits from it. But outdoors in morning light is meaningfully better because of everything we covered in hack number 2. The circadian anchoring, the nitric oxide from sunlight, the nervous system benefits of being outside in nature. Think of the treadmill as your backup plan for bad weather rather than as the plan itself. Should you take electrolytes when walking fasted in the morning? And if so, which ones are best? You can, and if you feel lightheaded or flat during the walk, you probably should be taking them. Choose an unflavored, unsweetened electrolyte containing sodium, potassium, and magnesium. No sugar and no sweeteners that might nudge you out of your fast. A pinch of good mineral salt in your morning water works too. That is exactly why I add one to my vinegar drink. Let me put the whole protocol into your pocket so there is nothing left to figure out tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, apple cider vinegar and water, then a clean cup of high Siga coffee, then out into the light. Walk fasted for 30 to 45 minutes, sprinkling in the intervals. 3 minutes brisk, 1 minute hard, repeated. Tomorrow evening, the moment dinner ends, shoes on and out for 10 to 15 easy minutes around the block. And on every single one of those walks, morning and evening, take your vitamin G with you. None of this requires a gym, none of it requires suffering, none of it requires a single piece of equipment. It requires 2 drinks, a front door, and 14 days of showing up when you would rather not. You will feel the energy shift first, usually within the first few days, before anything visible has changed. Then your sleep will deepen. Then your clothes will start fitting differently. Then the mirror will finally start agreeing with you. Follow this 5-step routine. Share it with somebody who walks every day and quietly wonders why nothing ever changes. Then come back and tell me what happened. Because in 14 days, you are going to have a story worth telling. I will see you on the next one.